Hello guys, welcome to Pinnacle Academy. My name is Mr. Gorgodo and we are going to look at an aspect of IGCSE or O-level biology which looks at safety in the laboratory. We are going to investigate some of the causes of accidents that are occurring when we are in a laboratory and measures that we can take to reduce the impact of these accidents when we are in a laboratory. We are humans, and being humans, we are fallible, and at times we make mistakes when we are in a laboratory. That is why it is very important for us to follow safety rules when we are in a lab. Some of these include that we can only enter into a laboratory when a teacher is present and only follow instructions as handed down to us by a teacher or a laboratory assistant. There should be no eating. There should be no drinking. There should be no running around or screaming when we are in a laboratory. So that means maximum concentration must be adhered to when we are in a laboratory. We should also report any spillages. We should also report any breakages as they occur immediately to the teacher or laboratory assistant. If you are in a laboratory, you must make sure that the safety numbers are posted on the walls of the laboratory for easier access. Things include the numbers of the fire department. These include the numbers of the ambulance, so that any event that is an accident can be dealt with as quickly as possible. Sometimes when we are in a laboratory, we handle chemicals. It is very important for us as learners not to touch, not to taste, or smell these chemicals without the permission of the teacher. We are learners, and at times we tend to mix chemicals just for fun. This is not supposed to occur when in a laboratory, as the chemicals can explode. If instructed to smell a chemical, you do not directly smell it, but handle it some space away from your nose. Wave your hand towards your nose so that the whiff of the chemicals can be obtained by your nose to smell. When you dispose of these chemicals, only do so in the instructions of the teacher. It is also important so that when we are using chemicals, never to pour acids into acids, as they are explosives. After handling your chemicals, use detergents to clean your soil, to clean your hands. It's very important so that you know what to do during the process of handling your chemicals. When your chemicals get in touch of your skin, immediately wash your skin with detergent, with soap, and notify your teacher as quickly as possible. That is the reason why safety clothing is apparent when you're handling chemicals. There are times when a fire can break out in a laboratory, so safety rules have to be adhered to. To remind us, a fire drill is always taking place so that we can adhere to the rules of a fire when it is happening. This includes stopping everything that you are doing when the fire alarm bell rings. Then, in a quiet and orderly manner, we stand to the walls of the laboratory in a line according to our alphabet and walk towards predetermined zones of the school which are safe from fires. From there, a roll call will be done by your teachers to know if everybody is moved out of the laboratory in time. Also, make sure when you're handling some of these apparatus like Bunsen burners, like candles, to make sure you don't leave them unattended. If you are not going to be using them, switch them off. Safety clothing is always going to be of major importance in the laboratory, so make sure you are wearing gloves, you are wearing safety goggles. Next to the doorway, there must be a sand bucket and a fire blanket present to protect us from any problems that result from fires. Also, make sure that the responsible authorities continuously check if a fire extinguisher is in good position or is serviced. And a fire guard must be placed around the laboratory to prevent the movement of fires away from the laboratory to other buildings. The gutter also has to be checked so that it does not have any flammable material that can cause challenges when they are lit. Use of a Bunsen burner is very important because it's very useful in a laboratory, but it's very dangerous. So safety clothing is supposed to be maintained when you're using a Bunsen burner, and also make sure that you handle it with care. Check if the gas tube is attached to the gas tape properly, and make sure that the air hole is closed before you strike a match and open when you strike a match, so that when you handle your Bunsen burner, you are handling it properly. There are times when you handle microorganisms and fumes that can occur from your experiments when you are in a laboratory. This is the reason why we need a fume box in our laboratory to prevent you from being affected by the fumes and the microorganisms that you're handling. And also wear disposable material so that you are not going to be affected by the fumes, you are not going to be affected by the microorganisms. People at times overload electrical circuits, overload extension codes when we are in a laboratory. So this needs us to always make sure that we have plenty of extension codes so that we don't overload these extension codes. If they are overloaded, they are a source of fires in a laboratory, which is very dangerous. So the clear and good handling of electrical materials inside a laboratory is very important. In a laboratory, there must be a first aid kit. This first aid kit must have important products like gloves, like adhesive tapes, like thermometers, like gauzes, like even a blanket must be present in a first aid kit to protect the learners from being affected by the problems associated with a laboratory. If your first aid kit is not well stocked, it can be a challenge. So make sure relevant authorities must keep the first aid kit stocked. I thank you for listening throughout the lesson. So if you have any questions, contact us on the number that is given or on the website that is given, and like and subscribe to our channel for more information on biology and other subjects that we teach. I thank you.